While Super GT takes themselves to Sports Lane Zugo for their race, we're taking ourselves to Buriram, Thailand for round 5 of the Hololive GT3 Japan Series. Welcome everyone to Thailand. We're here at the Buriram Prefecture, and today we're taking ourselves into this Buriram International Circuit. And speaking of which, let's take a look into the track map. 4.5 kilometers of racing is to be due here in this fine circuit. It is very much likely to host Formula 1 and MotoGP races. Well, it is hosting MotoGP races right now. 12 corners in total. We're going to be racing for a total of only 44 laps compared to Super GT's, Formula Hololive's is 55 laps the past week. Looking at target lap time, we're looking at 1:36.693. It's a bright sunny day here in Buriram, so hopefully we'll have the best lap times possible. It's postseason round. Now it's going to be way different to where we planned the knockout races. This time all 35 cars are due to participate here in Thailand. Because we have upgraded our specs in our PC, we won't be experiencing any serious lags at the start of the race. It's a former Super GT circuit, mind everyone. So that's one thing that we need to pay attention to. So anyways, let's take a look into the championship order. We're going to go take a look into the overall standings after Sepang. It's definitely more spread out than Formula Hololive. Not many guys at the back are stealing points from the drivers at the front. So as a result, Cal Gibbons have a very huge lead over Kento Kai, who replaced the last at the Bosnef. Then we have Mama Cashew and Ito Bertelsen tying for 3rd and 4th, representing Yogan Ramel and Akiri Ayame. They replace Daniel Bauer and Jeff Clark respectively. And then further back, around 150 points back, is Mama Shadareza representing Mori Luna. And then we have Johan Sinful for Nato Matsuri, Kizuhara Leo representing Murasaki Shion and all that stuff. We have another replacement in the field, and that is actually Irene Nakamura representing Akai Hato. And obviously looking at Airi, she's going to be very excited to represent Akai Hato. And then we also have Daniel Bauer for Hoshimachi Suisei. So that basically sums up the drivers inside the top 10, as we're going to need to check on a few things. So back in 11th place, we have Rim Olgor and Christoph Salman taking up the 11th and 12th spots. They represent Ozora Subaru and ASCII respectively. And then we also have, in 13th place, we have Lorenzo Ricci and Althusser Antanarau representing Hosha Marine and Nakamata Akai respectively. So obviously, also these drivers are going to be the ones that you might want to pay attention to. And then we also, especially for Antanarau, because we also wanted to mention to you that there are some forms of buffs given to the Nissans, as Nissans have had a very terrible first half of the season. They're looking to find ways to bounce back in the second half due to through balance changes. So hopefully the Nissans are able to bounce back. Then we have Sean Galisle, very competitive lap times here in practice, so don't count him out for pole position. And Michael Turner, Ri Liu, Maverick Duciem, he was named Maverick L, but requested to change his name, so he's now Maverick Duciem. And then we have Anita Perez replacing Sagaji Mikolev in the Sakura Migo car. Also, we want to mention to you that Hinochi Tayu is in 15th place and he replaces Richie Rod in the Fubuki ride. Yeah. Our Mazuri replaces Makoto Miyamoto in the Tsunamaki Watame car alongside Hanari Miyuki, who replaces Zach Champagne. And then we have Zeke Wimberley, and Hofumi, Sean Pauly, Fabio Mendez, Danilo Goyena. Again, Danilo Goyena, it's his birthday today, but please share a lot of your birthday messages to Goyena, as he would like to win for Pecora in his birthday. Same goes for Dan Evans, but we'll talk about that later. Before Kamara returns to the fabled Okihana Lamy ride, but will she be up to snuff? We'll have to wait and see. And then we have Keiko Takaboshi and Ed Sky replacing Wawas Harto and Hector Bembe respectively in the Shiranui Flare and Kazamai Roha rides. Takeda Arachi continues his road to get familiar with race cars, and as he takes over the Lapas Darkness car, replacing Suri Hayomov. Jackie Reza is in 32nd for Moses Nene. And then 33rd is Dan Evans for Takari Lui, it's also his birthday today, so please share with him his birthday wishes. 34th place we have Jeff Rohan for Tokyo Ritoa, and Karne Riba rounds out the 35 car field here, representing Umar Polka down in last place. So anyways, welcome everyone here to Buriram, Thailand, as we're about to get this Hololive GT3 race qualifying session underway. It's the round 5 of the Hololive GT3 Japan Series, the Buriram 400. Hopefully everyone is able to properly tune into this racing series here. I'm Mohammad Shazariza in the commentary booth, and for now, it's just me because of health issues from our other man, Zeke Wimberly, so wishing him the best of recoveries. So let's take a look into this qualifying session here. Cars coming out on track, and to no surprise, that is actually Sean Goliath who's coming out on track to start his first proper lap. And as you can see here, also we are taking a look into Adak-RMS also coming out on track as well. Wow, it's a touring love type of combo. As you can see here, the Aqua car tries to peel to the inside. Goliath tries to make a move on Antanarau down the inside, as he wants to be the first guy out. Obviously, Goliath having a very fast car in this race weekend. Well, in this race day, that is. Obviously, with the improved balance changes, the Nissans will now have the better chance to compete for race win. And right now, the Nissans are actually favorites to win this race based on practice times. Let's see who else is out on track. Putri Farah Kamal, in her first time in the Yukon Alami ride since August last year, she's going to be rusty, so don't expect her to try to light things up on fire in her 13th attempt at a Hololive GT3 race. Then there's also the dark horse threat Crystal Salmon, obviously representing ASCII, who have changed her item uniform, so that's also a bigger plus. So anyways, Sean Goliath exiting the final corner here in Buriram to start flying lap here. I need to have a good exit of that final corner, as you can see here, because it leads up to a very decently length straight. Break before the 150 meter board coming into turn 1 here, and then this is where it's gonna get really ugly there for Goliath. As you can see here, there's gonna be a lot of traffic. You can see if he can peel himself to the right. He'll have to check up because, oh, there's a lot of clogging up in the traffic here. You can see here 3 wide almost for all of these drivers involved. You can see here there's Relio, there's also Dan Evans, and you can see here I think there's also Takeda Adachi, obviously in his first Hololive GT3 start. And he's trying to clear more drivers. Let's see if he can clear Relio on time so that he doesn't have too much time lost under traffic. Taking a look into the other drivers, you can see here Antanarau is also stuck in the crossfire. Ooh, you can see here who's out. It's Zeke Wimberly. Spun out in qualifying. Looks like he's made contact with another driver. I can't really confirm. He is moving his wheel. You can see here a bit of a squirming there between Salman and Yuki, as there's a lot of kerfuffling in this qualifying session. Okay, Zeke Wimberly is probably back into a hot lapping moment, so we need to take a look into the remaining drivers who have yet to start a lap time. So, take 2, we're gonna go to Relio this time. This time he's got some pretty good clean air. Not looking good for Sean Goliath there, as he was blocked, and now he's down in with a 142. As you see here, Relio braking just before the 50 meter board into turn 1, coming into the kink into turn 2 right here, and then coming into the hairpin at turn 3. He's braking at between the 100 and 150 meter boards. You can see here he is about to be overtaken by Sean Goliath again. So we're gonna go to Sean Goliath here. As you can see here, he also has a pretty good toe from Relio, so he'll have a bit of a lap time advantage. More lap times coming in. Daniel Barguer with a provisional pole time. Ooh, very smooth into right-hand king into turns 5 and 6. Coming to turn 7, that's where the timing beam is. 59.425, not really that far from actually Barguer's lap time. Coming into turn 8, into the slow medium speed right-hander into turn 9, third gear around. Turn 10, flat out, as well as turn 11, it's just a kink at this point. More lap times coming in across the board, and at this point Golad decided that he's gonna go pit. So right now, the current state of affairs, Daniel Barguer was slightly beaten up. Suisei Nissan is currently in pole position, albeit not by much. And then we have Hinochi Taiyo in his Hololive GT3 debut representing Shirakami Fubuki. He currently sits in second place, so a very nice sight to see. Oh, you can see his Salmon Man improved with a 5th place lap time. The Atsuki Honda really showing up in this race. Meanwhile, after the changes to the Lexus cars can only manage a fastest. That's for Ethan Burleson in the Nakiri Ayami ride. Further back, we have Rim Olga, who is currently down in 17th place. Oh, and Hanari Miyuki currently jumps out to 14th place. With a very decent lap time from her. She's only 2.1 seconds behind Barguer's lap time, and we can confirm to you that the lap time targets have been met. And with that out of the way, we can get out here being excited. But for now, we still have this residence qualifying session that we need to deal with. And ooh, you can see here, Reba and Goyena really trying to set their tones here in this qualifying session here. Reba currently with an 11th place lap time, and now Ed Sky comes up with the, I don't know, heroics maybe? He hasn't been performing at his best, especially in Formula Hololive, but and then here's a Hololive GT3, and he's currently having an 11th place run, currently 5th out of the Nissans. So we're gonna go into intermission just a bit to sort out just a bit as, wait for it, wait, Mama Shadid Reza, another big improvement for him. He was in the 22nd, he's now jumped up to 4th place. Very good stuff there, as Shadid is aiming to win his first Hololive GT3 race since Fuji in 2022, that's in late 2022 during the postseason. Right now, can Shazrin pull out the heroics? Looks like it won't be for him at the moment. Meanwhile, after that spin, Zeke Wimberly puts himself in 5th place for Kamimio. Oh, you can see Zeke Wimberly having to really check up there with the number 3 car up front. Pulls it to the inside to make a very late move. You see here the Lexus actually having a very good run there, but it was eventually beaten. Meanwhile, taking a look at the Daniel Barguer, who's currently sitting in very well in pole position actually. 136.858 for the diamond in the rough. Meanwhile, we have Callan Gibbons. Oh, it's not looking good. I think he spun out. I think he's made contact with another driver. I think looking into the damage, yeah, there's a good amount of damage into the left side. I'm not sure if Gibbons is going to be able to take any further part in this qualifying session here, as his car is badly damaged. His car is still stuck at the exit of turn 5, not looking good for the high-spec robot, as Callan Gibbons, who has already won the Split A and overall Split Championships in Hololive GT3, will want to try to use that advantage to try to stay ahead in the second half of the season. But right now, it's not forthcoming for Gibbons, as he's currently well down in the order. He's currently 22nd. And then for Sean Lyle, though, Sean Lyle's gonna need to try again. He's currently down in 28th. He's got the very fast car. He could just be able to challenge Daniel Barguer for pole position. As you can see here, Hololive exits the final corner with a very amazing lap from him. 1:36.878, only 0.02 of a second behind. He currently sits on the front row alongside Daniel Barguer. Anita Perez continues to impress here in this Thailand circuit, the Buriram International Circuit, as Perez brings her Sakura Miko Honda up into 3rd place. That's where she finished last week in Formula Hololive's Buriram Super Prix. Ed Sky continues to improve, 9th place for him. Meanwhile for Phu My, who have got a 2nd place here in Buriram, he's currently up in 10th place. Very well said. As you can see here, the Nissans making up the top 10, making up 5 of the top 10 spots. And looking into Gen Zero, they are going to be very successful. You can see here, 4 of the 5 Gen Zero members are currently on the top 10. The sole exception being Callum Gibbons. Salman peeling into the pits for what should be a final splash and dash for fuel and the final change for tires, as they are going to do one more run in this qualifying session. Salman. A quick stop for him as he tries to get himself into touching distance. As you can see here, you can see here Hinoshi Taiyo actually improving against Perez. Taiyo now sits 3rd place in the Shirakami Fubuki Nissan. Replacing Richie Rod hasn't been quite easy, but sometimes it works. And for Hinochi, it works as he currently places his car in 3rd place, and now this lap is going to be an off lap. Just wanted to check on current affairs here. A bit of an intermission here to check things around. We have another few drivers coming into their pit stops. The current order for this qualifying session are as follows. The Soisei Nissan is currently in that coveted pole position, the same place where Lorenzo Ricci was last year. And this time, the challenger is not a fellow Gen 1 member, but rather a fellow Nissan driver in Hololive. He represents Minato Aqua. It's going to be 2 Nissans in the front row. But the top 3, it's not just the front row that has a Nissan lockout. Front 3 has been locked out by Nissans too. As you can see here, Hinoshi Taiyo and Hololive having a bit of tit for tat. Taiyo was looking for a chance to pit, but he thought otherwise. And as you can see here, no improvements from a lot of the drivers at the front. And you can see here Sheldon Reza, who have also pitted as well. He's going to go for one more YOLO run in this qualifying session. Let's see if Sheldon Reza is able to maybe steal a few positions or two. Kizuhara Leo obviously excited to race for Murasaki Shion. He's always been excited, and obviously it's been his best season up to date. Not exactly best season up to this point, but he has had some very good results, especially with that win at Fuji in the Fuji our Bright Parade 400 Fuji. He has actually won the Split B race, so congratulations to Kizuhara Leo for his achievements. And now take a look at the Sheldon Reza, who have just pitted quite late into his qualifying session here for his first and for his one and only stop. And now you can see here Hinoshi Taiyo and Farah Kamal. I think they've tangled here. And so that will be the end of their qualifying sessions. Farah Kamal will probably qualify no higher than 23rd. And Taiyo's space in the 3rd position is going to be under threat. Meanwhile, Sheldon Reza coming across the first timing beam to end Sector 1. He is actually only 3/10 behind the pole sitter, that is Daniel Barguer. Hololive is got some free space in front, but he has decided that he will take no further part. Daniel Barguer is also not going to be taking any further part. There's only Anita Perez and Mo Reza who is going to be able to try to contest for pole position. Maybe if they have a chance. Reza coming across. Ooh, very dangerously close to the Fubuki Nissan. Reza coming across the second timing beam and is not improving. He's only got a 0.851. Perez has got Antanarau in front. I think if these cars laying across the racetrack are anything to go by, I think it means that we're going to have a chaotic race. Meanwhile, Reza is about to end his qualifying run. Hopefully, he's able to do this on a high. That incident, Johan Sinful. And coming into the end of his qualifying session, Reza finishes his qualifying time. No improvements from him. And we doubt that Perez is also going to improve either. So it looks like the status quo is going to be as follows. As you can see here, Barguer and Antanarau are going to be qualifying in the front row as Hanari Miyuki provides a late surprise, bumps Sky down from the top 10. Miyuki now qualifies 9th. We have confirmation that Perez has finished her qualifying run. Tayo have also finished his qualifying run, and it looks to me that Daniel Barguer is your pole sitter for the Buriram 400 race. And Chris O'Salman coming in with a late heroic for the ASCII Honda. He currently places himself 6th, 137.7. Very good lap from him. Kaminari Reba. Get no improvements from him. Daniel Goyena is gonna look to only be in 7th place in his birthday. Let's see if he can improve come the race. 4 cars left coming into this end of this qualifying session. Shikento Kai, and then Sean Pauly, and all that stuff. And then we have 1 car left who was about to cross the line, but we doubt he's gonna be seeing any improvements here. And that is actually Maverick Duciem. Yes, Maverick Duciem, no improvements here. That's the end of this qualifying session. So, if you want to hear my thoughts on this qualifying session there, it's going to be a bit interesting to see the usual guys not really being up front and the guys who have been struggling all season currently looking to find a comeback. And speaking of comebacks here, let's take a look into the starting lineup here in this Buriram 400 race here in Hololive GT3. We have Daniel Barguer currently sitting in pole position. He will have the best seat in the house representing Hoshimachi Suisei. Sean Goliath alongside him in 2nd place. He will be representing Minato Aqua as he will try to find his first podium in Hololive GT3. Hinoji Tayo. First race for him in the Fubuki car, Fubuki Nissan in Hololive GT3. He's going to try to get a good run in 3rd place. Just want to remind you that Sean Goliath had finished 3rd in the Blue Journey Invitational race last Wednesday. Just want to add that. Anita Perez is the best Honda in the field. Sakaramiko Honda currently in 4th place. Reza, 5th place for the Himamori Luna Honda. Lines up with what is shaping up to be his rival, Chris O'Salman, in the ASCII Honda. Reza, of course, representing Himamori Luna, and Anita Perez representing Sakaramiko. Daniel Goyena representing Osada Pecora starts 7th for Osada Pecora as the year the Rapid continues to unfold. Zeke Wimberley, 8th place for the Mio Rai. Let's see if he can have a good bounce back to jump up to 1st. 9th place is Sean Pauly in that Unigami Korone Honda with Airi Nakamura, her first Hololive GT3 race coming in here. She will start 10th for Akaihato. Hanari Miyuki for Amane Kanata qualifies in 11th place alongside Ed Sky, who is looking to finally get himself up into form. They represent Amane Kanata and Kazuma Haru's respectively. Kizaru Leo starts 13th for Murasaki Shion. He will be alongside Keiko Takaboshi, representing Shiranui Flair. Hofumi 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series postseason and to an extent overall champion will start 15th for Tokino Sora with Altus and Tenrau 16th for Nekomata Kaiyu. Rajikazitsky 17th place. I think he's actually the best Lexus car in the field, as he's currently well down out of the order. He's currently down to 17th place for Yusuke Choko. Eden Burleson is the second best Lexus car in the field, replacing, of course, Jeff Clark. He currently qualifies 18th. Running up the first 10 rows of the grid is Johansson for and Kaminari Riba. Johansson for racing for Natsuya Ramatsuri, and Kaminari Riba racing for Omar Polka. Mohamed Cashew. For Yosoramel, races Daniel Bauer, and then we have Lorenzo Ricci 22nd for Hosha Marine. Moya Reza with a pretty decent run in 23rd for Momosu Zedene, and for Akama for Yukana Alami. Her first race back is not looking to be up to snuff here. Rim Olgo 25th for Ozora Subaru, with Kento Kai 26th, replacing by Santa Mashnev in the Aki Rosenthal ride. Dan Evans 27 in his birthday, no less. So you'll see if we can have a good result for Takane Lui alongside Ria Liu, representing Sakamata Chloe. Aramezi 29 for Tsurumaki Watami with Takeda Adachi in 30th place for Lapis Darkness. Jeff Rohan 31st for Tokoyami Towa with a special decal on the left on the sides of the car. Break your XXX. This towards the Soul Life coming up on October 13th. Fabio Mendes for Hakiri Kari will start 12th place. Calvin Gibbons with a spin in qualifying has not had the best of qualifying. He currently is down in 33rd. Makaturn 34th for Shuriken Knoll, and rounding out the field is Manfred QCM representing Shishiro Botan in 35th. So, if you want to hear my personal thoughts coming into this race, we're going to be seeing a massive Nissan barn burner here at the moment. We're going to be seeing a lot of accidents. We're going to be paying attention to the midfield part in particular. See where the chaos unfolds. So that out of the way, let's get this race underway. The Buriram 400. Cars lined up. We have Daniel Barguer on pole position. Alongside him is Sean Goliath. And the race gets underway finally. And as you can see here, a very good start there by Barguer, but it looks to me that he might just be a bit behind there, Goliath, so he might not be able to transfer the race lane. You can see here a bit of a challenge there by Perez against Tayo. Let's see if there's going to be any crashes at the back. There's a bit of contact, but right now everyone is able to get out of it safely. As you can see here, a lot of jostling for positions here. Barguer and Goliath now separated by 1.2 seconds here. As you can see here, Perez still remains third, but it won't be for long, as now Tayo tries to challenge Perez for third place. And now Perez is going to be in the mix, because I think Tayo has had a pretty poor exit, but I think he's too far back. This is where chaos ensues in a lot of respects. You can see here Sean Pauly and Ed Sky making contact. Let's see if there's going to be any collisions here. Right now, no one is looking to crash. Thank goodness no one has crashed, so we can report to you all this. Daniel Barguer for Hoshimachi Suisei leads Minato Aqua, and then we have Sagarmigo in third place. Fubuki 4th, Luna 5th. And then we have Aski 6th, Pecora 7th, Mio 8th, and then we also have Iroha 9th, and Hato 10th. Bit of a change here, reporting in the top 10 here, as we were talking about the talent instead of the drivers behind. Meanwhile, there's been a lot of side-by-side battle here. You can see here Takaboshi with a lot of left side damage. I think he's made contact with a lot of drivers. A lot of drivers having a lot of side damages because they went side-by-side at around turn 5. Was that turn 4? Yeah, turn 4. Anyways, turn 4 is Calamity Corner, but also just turn 1 here. As you can see here, Ed Sky and Ayu Nakamura really putting themselves in an uncomfortable position. And now Miyuki's going to go side by side with Sean Pauly. Will Miyuki try to go side by side? Will Miyuki try to make it 3 wide? The answer is no. As you can see here, Nakamura and Sky, both of them blocking the inside route, but that's not going to stop Miyuki for her to progress into the top 10. Oh, and there's been a contact. Oh, there's been a huge pileup. Oh, a bit of huge pileup here, and a lot of drivers bunching up at the field here between Fumi, Riba, and Farakama. I think there's been a contact between these few drivers. We're gonna really take note of this event here. As you can see here, more crazy shenanigans have happened here in Buriram, and we're only on the second lap of this race. There's no telling what's gonna happen next. And as you can see here, oh, it's a massive traffic jam here in sorry, not a traffic jam, but it's a massive traffic here in the back portions of this race here. A lot of drivers trying to survive at this point. It's no longer a case about who gets to be ahead of who. There's gonna be a bit more contact, as you can see here. Muhammad Kashi gets turned by Takeda Adachi. Bobby Mendez hops onto the curb a bit way too aggressively. I think it looks to me that it's gonna be game over for the Yozora Mel car, as I think he might not be able to continue. Like you mentioned here, there has been a lot of pandemonium at the back. I don't know if that is actually intentional, but whatever the case is, Daniel Barguer still pulling in with a 2-second lead. It's currently not too unstoppable, but the chaos at the back is just something to behold. A lot of drivers with either front end damage, rear end damage, side damage. Wherever the damage is, there will be damage. Anyways, Sinful under pressure from Ri Liu here for what should be 24th place. Sinful trying to go side by side. But now Ri Liu under pressure from Takeda Adachi, who is currently on the rise. There's just... Looking into the footage here, I don't think Adachi has any room here. But then again, he took his nose on the inside, but then he was being boxed in by the drivers here. But this time, Adachi and Shakareza trying to go side by side for 26th place. We have confirmation. First retirement of this race goes to Muhammad Cashew after his predecessor Daniel Bauer having a very solid first half of the season, nearly being able to compete with Callum Gibbons. And now it comes undone in the 5th round of the season. Meanwhile, more battles here between Nakamura and Miyuki. Meanwhile, Kizaru Liu manages to defend against Antanarau. We're about to reach the first 10th portion of this race, very early in this race still. But we're now seeing a massive discrepancy between the guys in qualifying and the race compared to these two sessions here. As you can see here, the guys at the back are definitely way bunched up, while at the front it's a bit spread out. You can see Takaboshi has overtaken Sky for 11th place. It's a double birthday today, we want to mention to you all. As you can see here, Dan Evans currently way down in 28th as he's trying to surge forward. Phu My trying to edge ahead of his competitor. He has raced with Ricci with the race lead, actually, last year, but now they're battling for 17th place, but Phu My is going to try to battle nonetheless. Points are points, he believes, and that's his current priority. And now you can see here the current Nissan development in the top 4. Okay, we're gonna try again. Hopefully everyone is still able to tune in. Apologies for the internet issue. I guess the race has been way too chaotic to the point where we have to pause the race due to internet issues. The chaoticness of this race contributes to the internet, all this stuff. So anyways, back into this session here. Apologies for the slight pause. Anyways, we're trying to mention to you that Daniel Barguer and Sean Galile's gap have definitely closed down. Galile, of course, being 2/10 faster in the last lap. I also want to take a look into Danilo Goyena and Dan Evans' performances this race. It's their birthday today, so very much excited for today as they celebrate their anniversary of their existence. Meanwhile, Antanarau and Kizaru Liu battling side by side once again. It's Team Purple, but that looks to be that Antanarau might just have the slight advantage here. But Leo might just be able to try to make a dive on down the inside, but I don't think it's going to be the case. Leo is going to consolidate 15th place. Lap 5 of this race, and right now there's not much changes at the front, but we're gonna go take a look into the back. So right now we have DCM and Aramazi battling for the final spots in this race. Callum Gibbons is not making any inroads so far, unfortunately. Sean Goliath, though, is actually delivering with the goods. Fastest lap of the race so far, 1:36.701. Goliath is very hungry to try to win this race. Oh, there's a bit of a jostling between Phu My and Bertelsen. As you can see, Phu My manages to actually stay ahead of Bertelsen at the final corner. Now his eyes are set on fighting Kizuhara Leo. He's got a very good car on race pace, but he might have to do some damage repairs. We have the first movers in pit lane, and that is actually going to be Airi Nakamura, and that's going to be a very quick stop. I think she has made her move way too early. Same goes for Rim Olgor, and that is going to shuffle up the standings just a bit. Meanwhile, Antanarau and Polly Okakoro cars battling side by side. And right now, Antanarau is on the comeback of his own, as you can see here. Trying to edge ahead against his fellow gamers teammate. Antanarau manages to stay ahead. Kizuhara Leo still trying to defend against Phu My, who have won this here at this track before last September. He's the most recent winner in Buriram in Hololive GT3. Of course, the most successful driver has got to be Muhammad Zuhair, as he's won 2 races, more than any other driver who have won a race here. Meanwhile, Shaka Reza and Riley side by side here. It's everyone's wife versus the Stinky Orca. And meanwhile, we have an interesting development here as Sean Goliath, the next driver to pit. I think he might be pitting way too early, and if he does, I think that's his race done. But not right now. We have a few changes in the top 5, as you can see here. Also, Hanari Miyuki coming into the pits. We're going to be taking a look into the pit camp to see who's also coming in. That is Lorenzo Ricci in the Hosha Marine car also coming in. We also have Putri Farah Kamal as well as Dan Evans. So lots of drivers coming in to make their pit stops here. I think they might have pitted way too early. Looks like we got some viewers who are excited to see how this race is going to unfold. Right now, we're on lap start of this race. I think the pit window is open for these certain drivers. Will their strategy pay off? As you can see here, Goliath having a very good open space in front of him. And Daniel Barguer with slightly worn out tires might have to think about pitting soon. Meanwhile, Adachi and Sinful side by side. It's a Laplace versus Matsuri car side by side coming into turn 4. Adachi might just have the advantage with that Nissan straight line speed, and now he's going to try for a double overtake move on Vladislav Domashnev. Oh, sorry, the wrong driver. That's Kento Kai. Oh, there's been a contact between the two. Adachi trying to also at the same time defend against Johan Simple with a very good run there, exiting turn 5 and 6. Right now it's not meant to be, as Daniel Barger currently sits in the lead, 137.159 for him. A lot of drivers in the lead trying to catch up with, basically play catch up with each other, as you can see here. Hiko Tagawashi, the next driver to come into the pits, as well as Altuser, Antanarau, and Ed Sky. Kaminai Riba also coming into the pits, as well as Raja Kaczynski. More big activity is coming up. Shaka Freza. We have Johan Sinful and Takeda Adachi. More drivers coming into the pits means there's going to be a lot of shuffling. As you can see here, we got drivers who have yet to pit and those who have already pitted. Also, we have Jeff Rohan coming into the pits with Fabio Mendez, Callum Gibbons, as well as Aaron Mazzi. A lot of pit activity. Some would argue that it's going to be way too early for these drivers to pit. It's like what we've seen in Formula Hololive. Again, nice sunny afternoon here in Buriram as 35 Hololive GT3 cars take to the racetrack. Perez currently still in second place, actually. That makes it a Meet Comet 1-2, which is nice to see. Even Perez has decided it's time to come to the pits. Daniel Barker is also going to be staying out. with enough. Actually, fastest lap of this race as well. So I think the race is definitely going to be in Barguer's hand, because we want to look at where Golile is at the moment. Oh, there's going to be a lot of lap cars. Will Daniel Barguer peel into the inside? Yes, he does. He will not stay into run. He had to brake just a bit just to stay safe. And it looks like we have the first lap cars of this race. But remember, Daniel Barguer have yet to pit. And now you can see here, Hinoshi Tayo actually gets blocked there by Jeff Rohan. And now Southern Reza is going to try to make a move down the inside against the Shirakawa Fubuki Nissan. As you can see here, he's got to have a lot to thank his Gen 4 teammate. As you can see here, Southern Reza finally gets himself into the second place spot. And now Southern Reza is able to use the likes of Jeff Rohan as a pick to basically hold off the Shirakawa Fubuki driver that is Hinoshi Tayo. And we have more drivers coming into the pit. Leo, Fumi, Ducey, Bertelsen, and Turner. I think they have pitted earlier in this race, and now they're gonna have to pit again. I don't know. I think it's only the first stop. Bit of a shuffling in the field here. Now you can see here Nakamura trying to actually lap. No, it's not actually lapping. They're actually battling for position. UCM have yet to pit. Nakamura have already pitted. Nakamura has already pitted, so that's one thing. Meanwhile, Wimberley against Goyena. Another Predator versus Prey battle. As you can see here, Daniel Barguer now has lap traffic to deal with, and now the driver in front of him is Takeda Adachi, who is currently way down in 29th place. Will Barguer be able to clear the lap car as soon as possible? The answer is going to be a slightly easy yes. Of course, he has to deal with obviously having to slow down just a bit at the hairpin. Turn 3. Will he be able to clear Michael Turner in time, who is currently down in 28th place? Yes, I think he will. Meanwhile, side-by-side battle between Dan Evans and Shakif Reza, who's going to be pretty tight. There's contact jostling between the two. A bit of an unsettledness for these two drivers, and you can see here Shakif Reza having the slight advantage, but Dan Evans has the inside line at turn 6. Shakif Reza has the inside line at turn 7. And it looks to me Dan Evans might just have the lead unless Shakir Reza thinks of a dive bomb, on which he doesn't. The race is on. For the race lead is either the Himori Luna car or the Hoshimachi Suisei car. It's either the Luna Honda or the Suisei Nissan. And as you can see here, we still have a few drivers who have yet to pit. In particular, DuCM, Ri Liu, Kento Kai, Sean Pauly, Zeke Wimberley, Danilo Goyena, Hinoshi Tayo, Shatan Reza, and Barguer. So a lot of intriguing strategies to take a look into as we're still progressing forward in the race. And now finally we have pit lane activity for Daniel Barguer. Danilo Goyena currently sitting in 4th place, now coming into the pits as well. Shazan Reza's got his time in the sun as he is now currently in the lead of this race. Obviously, having to deal with Takeda Adachi is not going to do him any favors here. Daniel Barguer having a pretty quick pit stop, come to think of it. I think everyone has a pretty quick pit stop, come to think of it. So obviously Shazan Reza is actually going to go a bit longer than usual. Going to go for the overcut strategy, use the late race pace to his advantage, but then again, in GT3 racing, it's a bit difficult to overtake, especially if the track doesn't allow it. Barguer actually has been beaten by Sean Golile by quite the margin here, by around 2 seconds. So Sean Golile actually manages to beat Daniel Barguer on strategy. So if you wanted to rotate everyone in terms of net race leaders, Sean Golile is your net race leader. Gains 4 seconds on Daniel Barguer. We do want to mention here that Barguer was stuck in traffic, so that also hampered his chances. More changes in the strategies here. Liu, DuCM, and Nakamura. Wait, Nakamura have bit again. Oh, a bit of an issue for Rim Olgor here. I think he's made contact with a driver here, and Rim Olgor has made contact with another driver, and I think he's stuck. I don't think he'll be able to continue in this race. So Rim Olgor definitely stuck here as he's trying to get his car back into the race. I don't think it's a bit possible for him as his car's a bit stuck. Another DNF, and this time it comes from a very odd circumstance, and that is actually from Rim Olgor. Shaded Reza a bit under pressure slightly from the Nissan alongside him. That's Takeda Adachi. Lap car, no problem. Shaded Reza stays ahead. Crystal Salmon just crossed the line here with a 38.37, and now we have a bit of confirmation that we have some drivers who have already DNF. We already have 2 who have lost out. Just wanted to check onto current situations here, and we have confirmation Mo Cashew and Aaron Mazzi as well. Aaron Mazzi have also retired from this race, or is that he's pitting? Whatever the case here, we are looking to have at least 3 Lexus cars who have already DNF. So, bit of bad luck for all the Lexus cars and for these Lexus cars involved. Meanwhile, the Nissans are still running right in this race. Tayo obviously hanging around in second place. Shaded Reza trying to go long, and you can see here lap traffic is going to play a huge part. You can see here Shaded Reza having his fellow championship contender for the overall championship and for the knockout championship, that's Callum Gibbons. Will Shaded Reza think of a move? Because Gibbons is actually thinking of a move. He has, you can see a Turner, 2 Australians battling out side by side. Maybe. Yes, it does. Gibbons is going to try to edge ahead of Michael Turner for 26th place. But watch out behind, there's Shaded Reza in the mix, and he's going to try to make it 3 wide. And our worst fears have been realized, as you can see here. Sean Goliath coming into the pits again. I think, yeah, that is the issue. Sean Goliath has pitted way too early, and that's going to mean that Daniel Barguer is going to take the race lead regardless. Forget about the undercut, as Barguer, as he pits later than usual, and he gets to feel his car until the end of the race, he manages to take the net race lead. Well, that is what I should have been saying if Perez hadn't stolen the race lead earlier. Because right now, Perez is going to do something her predecessors have never done before. Win a race for Sakura Miko. Because looking into the history, drivers like Jared Ellis and Yosoro Hernandez, Isakaiji Mikola, they've never won for Sakura Miko. But Anita Perez really just shows up in this Sakura Miko Honda, and for any Sakura Miko ride, come to think of it. As you can see here, more drivers who have made errors in the pit stops are now dropped down a few more positions. But Sean Goliath manages to actually erase the damage just a bit, as he's now currently in 13th place. Shaded Reza finally coming into the pits for his one and only stops, and now it all comes down to between Tayo, Perez, and Barguer to try to consolidate their advantage. Tayo on the inside line against Takeda Adachi. He's going to put Adachi a lap down. Perez crosses the line. Shaded Reza still ahead. Yes, he does. Shaded Reza with another strategic masterclass to try to at least get as close as possible to go for the Mikome duo. Well, of course, Shaded Reza is going to have to take a look into Crystal Salomon, who is actually not far behind. Salomon is going to come back to bite Shaded Reza in the butt. As you can see here, Shaded Reza, will he try to make a move down the inside? And now we have another battle for what should be the race lead. Perez and Barguer, Mikome side by side. And who's going to be edging ahead of Evans in front is going to be the one that's going to have the race lead. But right now, Daniel Barguer is unstoppable in the straight thanks to Nissan's VR38 EDTT engine. Just want to remind you, 600 horsepower on the hood of that Nissan. That's going to give Barguer a lot of advantage. which is also saying something, given that Barguer is impressing in the Suisse Nissan, given that Suisse herself is not actually interested in running her original idol uniform. Rather, she would like to run her bright idol uniform. No problem. So anyways, back into the racing scene. Hinoshi Taiyo, one of the last drivers who have yet to pit. We will have another battle between Sean Carlisle and Kento Kai. Sean Carlisle is going to breeze past the Aki Rosenthal Lexus, no problem. He's going to currently be up into 13th. Take a look at this. The battle for what should be the net race lead have now expanded to 4 cars, 2nd to 5th. With a shot at the race lead, and now you can see here Barguer obviously really showing up here. Let's see the gaps, if they can close down between Taiyo and Barguer. Right now it has. Barguer is gaining a lot of time on Taiyo, and that would mean that Barguer looks to be dead set on stealing this race lead away. And just want to remind of the championship positions. It was actually pretty amazing if you want to look into the current order here, because you want to take a look into here. Daniel Barguer currently sits at 349 points. And if he wins this race, given that Callum Gibbons is currently well down in the points, this would mean one thing. There will be some changes. Because right now, with Callum Gibbons down in 22nd, that means he won't be gaining as much points as he should. There will be a huge chance that Daniel Barguer is going to take away this championship lead away from Callum Gibbons. But that is if Shadid Reza finishes low as well. But again, Shadid Reza is actually quite down in the standings here by 300 points himself. So obviously it's going to be a massive crapshoot between these following drivers on who gets to steal this championship lead. And now Barguer trying to clear Dan Evans once and for all. If he can clear him, he might have a better shot on trying to hang on to this race lead. But meanwhile, with Barguer losing time on Dan Evans, Taiyo is actually gaining a lot of time against Barguer, and that's going to do well for his pit stop strategy. I just want to remind you that Hinoshi Taiyo is the only driver who have not elected to make a pit stop. And that might be something that we need to pay attention to. And as you can see, Shadid Reza is still trying to find some space against Perez. Shadid Reza is still having his eyes set on winning here in Buriram, where he has won once, and that was in late May. He has not won a Hololive GT3 race since mid-November, and that was at Fuji, where he raced for Himamori Luna. As you can see here, Perez holding steadfast against Shadid Reza, and now you have confirmation that Barguer are not pulling away against Dan Evans, and now you can see here Salomon is going to try to make a move against Shadid Reza once again. The ASCII Honda just keeps on delivering, and now you can see Salomon trying to edge ahead, and now Daniel Barguer and the rest of the field are about to cross into the start-finish line to start lap 18. Hinoshi Taiyo have just peeled out of the pit lane. Is this a strategy masterclass for Hinoshi Taiyo as Daniel Barguer exits the final corner? Taiyo might just have a huge advantage coming into this race. And you can see here, Shadid Reza has overtaken Anita Perez at the exit of the final corner, using Dan Evans as a pick once again. And now you can see that both Hondas battling side by side. Shadid Reza's eyes for third place is not over yet. But meanwhile, we have confirmation that Hinoshi Taiyo has been overtaken by Daniel Barguer. Strategic masterclass for Taiyo, only good enough for second. But now you can see here Shadid Reza, Perez, and Salomon trying to go 3 wide. Ooh, bit of a jostling for position here between a lot of these drivers. That's going to mean that Perez is going to be shuffled out down to 5th place. And now you can see here Shadid Reza trying to eke out an advantage against Hinoshi Taiyo, and now you can see here Salomon and Perez going side by side on board number 12 ASCII Honda once again. Salomon trying to find some space, some opening for him to make a move down the inside, and right now it's not forthcoming for him. What an amazing race it has turned out to be. All drivers who have already made a pit stop, and now the last driver to be a lap down. The last driver on the lead lap is currently Lorenzo Ricci. He's currently on battle of a silver spoon on his own. He currently has to battle Hanari Miyuki. Dan Evans is actually the first guy a lap down, and obviously putting a huge spanner in the works between the guys up front. And now Sheldon Reza, his eyes are now set on trying to at least stay close on Hinoshi Taiyo, as Daniel Barguer is currently in line to win for Hoshimachi Suisei for the first time in his ARO career. We're not even halfway in this race, and this race has absolutely delivered. And now we have a Nissan currently in the race lead. We're just gonna hope that nothing goes wrong for these Nissans. As you can see here, we still have a good amount of Nissans in the top 10. 4 Nissans in the top 10, but the Hondas are also showing up here as well. They're basically in the middle, so no need for changes for them. Meanwhile, looking into the current state of affairs here, looking into the current situations here, as you can see here, Sheldon Reza trying to at least stay close to Hinoshi Taiyo as he's looking for an opportunity. As you can see here, lap cars are starting to really come forward for these Nissans to probably lay waste. You can see here, Lorenzo Ricci down in 31st place. Just want to remind you of the current situation here. You can also see Ed Sky. Oh, Fabio Mendes there actually got a bit shuffled, a bit too much there. Now he's gonna be down into 29th place, but not before he tries to challenge Farakawa once again. Farakawa not having a good race on her own, also trying to adjust herself back into this car. So he's down in 28th place right now. Meanwhile, Riba and Nakamura going side by side. They have also made some errors in their pit stops, and now they're battling side by side for what should be 20th place. Ooh, Nakamura had to ease off from the gas here. Now Nakamura is under pressure from the overall split champion, Callum Gibbons, who is currently on the prowl on the offensive. Ooh, a bit of an unsettled moment here for Nakamura, as now Gibbons is going to try to steal an opportunity. Not yet, as it stands, and now you can see here some more battles brewing here. Sheldon Reza still trying to get close to Hinoshi Taiyo. Salaman trying to find a space against Perez. Meanwhile, Fumi has been overtaken Takaboshi. Fumi's comeback has been pretty amazing. Just wanted to remind you all that Fumi was only good enough for 15. But looking at the amazing race pace that Fumi has, Fumi is looking to be in contention, like very well in contention. This is what makes Fumi a very special driver when it comes to his driving talent in the Hololive GT3, especially when it comes to representing Tokino Sora. As you can see here, Fumi up in 7th place. Now looking to try to find a way past Zeke Wimberley. He has absolutely managed his tires very well and only attacks when he needs to attack. And right now he's going to be biding his time to make a move against Wimberley. Sheldon Reza trying to get close to Hinoshi Taiyo, who is also trying to get close to Daniel Barguer here. Now you can see here Daniel Barguer trying to lay waste onto the lap car that is Lorenzo Ricci, and that's going to lose a good amount of time there for Barguer. The gap's now dropped down to 3.8 seconds in one fell swoop. Will Lorenzo Ricci make a dive on down the inside to make Barguer's life harder? The answer is going to be no. But it does provide some breathing space for Taiyo and Shastrin to try to get close into Barguer's gap. Meanwhile, further back, we're looking into the battle of Hanari Miyuki and Fabio Mendes for who gets to have 4 points instead of 1. Obviously, it pays in comparison to 400, but it's still something. So anyways, a reminder to everyone that we're going to be taking a short break here in this stream. of course, being the sole commentator and all, I don't want to hurt the throat as much as I want to. So, yeah, we're going to have a short break on lap 22. We're going to go back and around laps 23 and 24. We're going to be updating everyone on current situations. Anyways, Phu My have actually steered clear of Wimberley there after going side by side around turns 5 and 6. Phu My's charge has got to be very crazy. And now looking into the current scenario, we have 4 Gen 0 members in the top 10. Phu My's on the charge. He is on an absolute charge. I don't think there's going to be many that is able to stop Phu My here at the moment. We're at the start of lap 21, and now you can see here Daniel Barguer have lost a lot of time against Hanari Miyuki, who's also battling against Fabio Mendes. And now at the same time, we also have Lorenzo Ricci trying to throw a spanner into the works here. Now Daniel Barguer trying to go side by side with Hanari Miyuki. Tayo's going to try to get close. Shadow is going to try to get close. We have a double-pronged battle between a battle for the race lead and a battle for the driver's lap down. And Barguer crucially manages to get ahead out of everyone so far, leaving Hinochi Tayo with almost nowhere to go. Oh, contact between the 22 and the 57. Tayo trying desperately to get close. He has the outside line, turns 5 and 6, but it's going to be the inside line for turn 7. And that might give the impetus, and that might actually give the Fubuki Nissan driver the impetus needed. And now we have another side-by-side battle here. We can see Lorenzo Ricci putting Hanari Miyuki now outside the points. Southern Reza still behind these 3-lap cars. Right now, Southern Reza trying to steer clear of Hanari Miyuki finally, and now also trying to steer clear of Lorenzo Ricci. It's crazy here at the moment, because right now we are looking into the top 8 at the moment. They have not won a race here in Hololive GT3 yet this season, because Harley's the highest of the drivers who have already won and is looking to make a repeat. And now looking at Tayo, who is currently behind Fabio Mendes, but not for long. As Tayo steers clear of Fabio Mendes, Chavez steers clear of what should be Lorenzo Ricci, but of course he still has to beat drivers like Fabio Mendes to try to get close into Tayo. Meanwhile, Barguer is looking into Farah Kamal in front. That is his next target. So anyways, we're going to take a short break here. We're going to be returning on lap 24. It's the currently watching the Buriram 400 race here in the Hololive GT3 Japan Series. Back here in Buriram, here in the Buriram 400 race here in the Hololive GT3 Japan Series postseason. Daniel Barguer and Hinochitayo's gap have now dropped down once again. This time he's now under pressure from Hinochitayo behind. He's still stuck behind Putri Farah Kamal, who's actually providing quite the challenge. Kabner Reba and Ria Liu trading blows. This time Reba is now up into 19th place. You can see here a lot of lap time lost there for Tayo. Whoever is in the top 5, if they can stay in the race lead, they will be winning their first Hololive GT3 race of the season. Some winning their first Hololive GT3 race outright. The Fubuki Nissan have won here in Hololive GT3, and that was in late May when Muhammad Zohair won it in the Buriram Split A Race 2 race. Anyways, Tayo now down the inside of Barguer to try to get into the gap, but there's no gap to be found. And now you can see here Tayo is going to be using the slipstream to his advantage. Will he peel down the inside? No is the answer, as Tayo still ducks behind. Ooh, you can see here a bit of a trading blows of position here between Liu and Nakamura. And now Nakamura still has been overtaken by Liu. This is for the top 20th spot. And Miwa Cal Gibbons is also trying to find his way back into this race. Miwa Antanarau and Goyena, there was contact between the two as Shongalal tries to put his car back into contention. As you can see, it's gonna be Goyena who steals 11th place, as it was very messy, but still it happens. Meanwhile, Ryu drops back again to 21st place, being overtaken by Ari Nakamura. And now we are looking at Hinochitayo and Daniel Barguer trying to go side by side. The battle for the top 3 is now open. As you can see here, Barguer is being pushed off quite a lot there by Farah Kamal. And now we have Hinochitayo trying to go side by side for the race lead. Chaos ensues. Will Tayo dive down the inside? The answer is gonna be a resounding yes. We have a contender for the race lead here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see here, Tayo gets very close. They're still side by side. Barguer might just have the good exit, but Tayo's not far behind as he uses the slipstream to get him back into turn 4. Will it be ugly? You can see here, Barguer gets off wide, and now these two Nessas are gonna go side by side. Will there be contact? Barguer will stay ahead, but only just. And crucially, Farah Kamal is blocking up Mohammed Shadran Reza from advancing into the battle for the top 2 spots. Amazing racing here in Sepang. As you can see here, so many things happening. Just massive confusion and craziness happening here. Krasitsky tries to defend against Shakib Reza. I think there's contact between two drivers. Will they be able to continue? Shakib Reza spins out, manages to continue, but there has been a very ugly moment between the two. As you can see here, Shakib Reza tries to get his car back into contention, and yes, he does. A bit of a messy move there by Kaczynski against Shakib Reza. But both of them being able to continue, they will be able to press on. But Shakib Reza have lost the position to Johan Sinful in the process. Shakib Reza have cleared the lap car of Fabio Mendes. Sorry, it's Putifara Kamal. Hinochitayo under pressure from Shadran Reza actually here. As you can see here, Shadran Reza is going to dive bomb down the inside of Tayo for 2nd place. And now he's going to try to use these lap cars to his advantage, so that he can try to at least get closer. But you have Hinochitayo down the inside. Shadran Reza manages to block just about. Crazy racing here in Buriram. And now we have another Nissan blocking Shadran Reza's view, and that is actually Ed Sky. Ed Sky obviously being way down at the moment. He's currently down in 27. He will be scoring points, but not by a lot. But as you can see here, now we have some very solid contenders up front. And as you can see here, in the middle of all this, we have Phu My just climbing up. He just is on a rise. He's unstoppable. He's currently in 5th place after overtaking both Wimberley and Salmon. For him to be in contention for the race win. Don't count Phu My out in this battle for this race win. He just needs to overtake Anita Perez and some lap cars for him to be relevant in this battle. You can see here Salman and Wimberley trading blows between each other. Liu and Takaboshi also trading blows between each other. And as you can see here, the battle inside the top 10, it has got to be very fierce and feisty. As you can see, Charleston Rizzo now finally steers clear of Ed Sky, who is currently down in 27th. And you can see here Barguer currently looking to be uncontested in this race. As you can see here, also Hinoshi Taiyo trying to be clear of Ed Sky, but it's going to be easier said than done at this rate. Gets pushed off wide. Will there be some crazy contact? The answer is no. The status quo of the top 3 remains unchanged, and as you can see here, is actually a huge gap between Barguer and DuCM. So there's gonna be a lot of breathing space between the top 3, but meanwhile the top 4 is still up for grabs. You can see here Perez have got himself back against Phu My and Salman. Salman's gonna try to get himself back into the top 5. Wimberley and Takaboshi are also gonna be into the mix. Takaboshi makes contact with Wimberley, as you can see here. Side-by-side battles once again. It's still an amazing side-by-side battle of Hololive GT3 cars. That is what we want to see here in Buriram. That's what the fans want to see. Meanwhile, Wimberley edges ahead of Takaboshi and Leo. Phu My and Salman side by side, but Phu My has the slightly inferior line, almost makes contact with Salman, and now they're going to be providing a lot of battles here. Meanwhile, Antanarau and Goliath also coming into the mix as well. As you can see here, Salman diving down the inside of Anita Perez. This is for 4th place, and if he can clear Dan Evans, who knows, Salman might be able to challenge for the podium spot in that brand spanking new ASCII Honda. And we are looking into some very, very intense racing here in Buriram, in this Buriram 400 race here in Hololive GT3. And now you can see here they're still side by side, the 12 and the 35. Ooh, hanging it around. There's contact between Wimberley and Leo. There's also a bit of contact between Salman and Perez, and now sniffing for an opportunity there is Phu My, and now you can see Phu My trying to still stick around the inside and maybe think of a move. Ooh, there was contact between Antanarau and Goliath. Touring Love got way too aggressive there, and as you can see here, the battles just keep on getting more intense. You can see here Salman edging ahead. Perez was now looking to defend against Phu My. Sinful Shadariza trading blows once again. The 7 and 77, 2 orange cars trading blows once again. You can see here Phu My trying to dive bomb down the inside of Anita Perez once again. Move incomplete, and that will mean that Phu My is going to be under pressure from both Leo, Wimberley, and Takaboshi, who are looking to try to sniff their way into the top 5. Will there be contact? There is contact between Wimberley and Leo. You can see here Wimberley has had a move gone horribly wrong, and that would mean that Wimberley is going to be losing out on this battle. He got way too aggressive, and he's going to be paying the price. Hinoshi Taiyo sniffing an opportunity against Shazrin. Barguer slowly catching up to DuCM, but I don't think this lap car is going to be too much of an issue. You want Antanarau and Goliath going side by side once again. This time it's going to be in Antanarau's favor. Touring Love in the side of Okayu. Peace. Sauberman is still struggling to get the pass on to Dan Evans. Dan Evans is really throwing a huge spanner in the works. Currently the last car out on track, and is looking to be one of 5 drivers who will not be scoring points at this rate. Barguer's losing time. Southern Reza's gaining time, and this is after we take into account the fact that they're all in clean air. So Southern Reza and Hinoshi Taiyo are currently trying to get themselves, while pointing themselves back into contention for Nissan for a win here, because right now battle for the top 3 is gotta be very spicy. All Southern Reza wants in Hololive GT3 is to break the win record. He wants to try to win his 6th Hololive GT3 race in his career, trying to win Himemori Luna's 6th Hololive GT3 race. And right now, Southern Reza is looking to have a very good shot at it. And now we're looking into Barguer getting very close into DCM. Not long left now before the both Barguer and Southern Reza lock horns once again. You can see here Perez and Salman battling side by side once again. This time it's going to be in Perez's favor. It's going to be a 3-wide Gen 0 battle as it stands. And if it continues like this, it's going to be very ugly. It's going to be ugly. There's contact between Salman and Phu My, as Phu My is going to spare no blushes. He's going to spare no one to try to get himself into 4th place. The drive to represent the OG member Tokino Sora has been very unreal, and as he doesn't really care too much about his teammates. He just wants to bring that number 1 car on that number 1 spot. Relentless action from Phu My, a bit reckless and too aggressive to some. And as you can see here, Southern Reza, his last slot compared to Daniel Barguer has been actually slightly better than Barguer. He's here 38092. Everyone's just dropping down into the 38 as everyone's just sticking around with the worn out tires. And you can see here so many battles here, so many frantic action from the front to the back. As you can see here, Barguer, is he going to be losing a good amount of time here? Barguer's actually gained in Sector 1. No surprise. There's got a lot of straights for the Nissans to take advantage of. But meanwhile, the battle is currently being focused around the battle for 4th place. And you can see here, everyone is just still struggling to make the pass on Dan Evans. Dan Evans really putting a huge spanner in the works for battle inside the top 4. This time Antanarau has overtaken Kizara Leo. It's going to be 5, 8, 9. It's going to be a battle for purple. In 8th place, you can see here Shogalile and Kizara Leo is now an Akushio battle. There's a side-by-side battle gone wrong. Kizuhara Leo spins out. And I think it's going to be race over for Kizuhara Leo after crazy action from one end to the other. And now it's going to come down to Kizuhara Leo being out of this race. Barguer is edging ahead slightly against Mohamed Southern Reza. Kizuhara Leo is still being stationary inside this car as he's trying to find some space. Or he thinks that he's got too much suspension damage and that will be his race over. Our first Honda DNF looks to come for Kizuhara Leo if he doesn't continue at this rate. Leo just keeps dropping down, but who knows, he might just be able to continue. Another twist in the Buriram 400 race have come and gone, with Kizuhara Leo making contact with Shongolai in a very aggressive manner. Daniel Barguer obviously having a very calm and confined race here. As you can see here, Kizuhara Leo still stuck. Well, I'm not sure if he'll stay here. Meanwhile, Antanarau and Takaboshi battling side by side. Antanarau now jumps up into 7th place. Are they still stuck behind Dan Evans? The answer is yes. Is Kizuhara Leo still stranded at the exit of around the entrance of turn 5? The answer is yes. Everyone's gonna need to at least be mindful of Leo's car. Barguer still edging ahead out of everyone else. It has been very chaotic at the moment. As you can see, Reza now actually pulling one back against Barguer, but still the gap is now 3.1 seconds. %75% of the race is looking to be concluded here in Buriram. And what has been certain here is that there has been a lot of racing action as expected in this Hololive GT3 series. And now you can see here Perez and Phu My and Salomon side by side, but this time the race has definitely calmed. And now Salomon is about to be under pressure from Antanarau. Here, Antanarau goes down the inside. I think he's gone way too aggressive there. He's going to lose out a lot of positions here. Nearly collects Shongo Lyle in a probable unsafe rejoin. And now Antanarau under pressure from his fellow gamers teammate Zeke Wimberly. You can see here Wimberly really trying to put a lot of whack in that move down the inside, but it looks to be that Antanarau might have the straight line speed, and yes he does. That's where the top speed can kick in. Antanarau manages to quote-unquote defend as the Nissan and Honda nearly get together. Well, they didn't get together, but they nearly collect Kizuhara as a stranded car. And now we're looking at Daniel Barguer losing a huge amount of time to Reza. Okay, it's not huge, but it's substantial. Barguer dropping some substantial amount of time to drop. The gap's now dropped down to 2.3 seconds, and it looks to me that Barguer is going to be clearing 2 cm in a matter of time. No issues at all for the Swiss driver. Meanwhile, we still have Jeff Rohan and Michael Turner, who might be a decent shout to try to disrupt the flow of the leaders. The final quarter of this race is currently being dictated by Daniel Barguer. Daniel Barguer, amazing run for him. Obviously, registered as an Israeli driver. He has seen a lot of successes for Hoshimaki Suisei throughout recent times. He's been a dark horse contender for Nissan when Nissan wasn't at their best. But this time, Barguer is looking to be the guy to beat here in this Hololive GT3 Japan series for the second half of the season, as Barguer looks to correct what Lorenzo Ricci had failed, because that race, if you remember, Lorenzo Ricci actually got pole position in this race, but failed to convert it into a win as he was beaten by Phu My. Shaka Reza has finally overtaken Johan Simple, and now Shaka is going to go for round 2 against Raiji Kaczynski. This time, he hopes that there won't be any issues. Kizuhara a stranded car is still stranded at the exit of turn 5. Every driver has been warned about it, but there will not be any safety car because there's no safety car inside the Corsa. Looking into the next few stages of this race, the final stage of this race, Hinochi Taiyo have cleared Maverick Ducien to put him a lap down, so does Mohamed Shazmin Reza. Daniel Barguer now has 2 lap cars to contend with if he wants to try to at least get them, get Shazmin Reza and Taiyo in contention. Now Takaboshi and Salomon side by side. More side by side battles here, you can see here. And now you can see here Lorenzo Ricci and Miyuki and Fabio Mendes. There's going to be a huge battle for 4th place at this rate, because looking at this battle here, Perez, Takaboshi, and now we have Phu My 6 and 7 is Goliath, Avis and Antanarau. Salman out of all this have now dropped down to 9th, but Wimberly's now in 10th place. There's just a lot of chaos. A lot of chaos in this race, and it just wouldn't stop. Ooh, more side-by-side battles here between Salman and Wimberly! Oh, there's contact between Wimberley and Salomon. A move gone horribly wrong. Now Wimberley's gonna go for a very dangerous move, and that is gonna cause a lot of issues for Polly, Kai, and Bertelsen. Oh, that has been a very messy move against Salomon and Wimberley as the two come together at turn 4. Crazy scenes here, as you can see here. More side-by-side battles, Antanarau and Salomon. The race just keeps on going. I think there is actually someone who stopped on the track, and that's actually just wanted to have a short pause for a while. Back onto the racing scene here in Buriram. Again, more chaos here. Now Salomon trying to go side by side with Daniel Goyena. They have met. Their Oshif have met in the same uniform twice already. It was in January and it was in July. Both of which were Pecora's anniversary commemoration streams. Commemoration mini concerts. So anyways, these two have had a good amount of history together, but this time, who's gonna be lowering their gaze coming into turn 4? Will it be Salomon representing Askew or Goyena representing Pecora? Salomon has the advantage. It's going to be Salomon who hangs around in 8th place. Nothing between Barguer and Shazin Reza. Now, except now, Barguer has got probably a few lap cars to contend with. And now he can probably make use of that Lexus as Barguer is going to be peeling down the inside. 1, 2, 3. There's the move. But it's not close enough actually. As you can see here, Barguer is going to keep losing time. He was at 2.9 seconds. It's now dropped down to 2.5. If Barguer is able to make this move into turn 5 as easy as it looks, which he does, he's going to be able to have no problems. Almost no problems. As you can see here, Barguer isn't able to complete the move on Michael Turner, and now Shouted Reza is on the shout to try to steal the race lead away from Barguer. History might repeat itself if Barguer is not careful. A lot of Hoshiamis are watching right now to see if Barguer can try to bring one home for Suisse. Another side-by-side battle, and Antanarau laying waste on Goyena as Goyena drops down a few more positions there. It's just not concrete, these results just yet. And now Barguer keeps losing time. And now you can see here that Michael Turner is also on a battle against Jeff Rohan for 23rd place here. Shouted Reza have now gotten himself back into contention for the race lead, and also Hinochi Taiyo. The battle for the top spot here in Buriram, in this Buriram 400 race to kick off the postseason, is gonna come down to the final few laps and whether or not Barguer is able to clear lap traffic or not. Barguer's still close. I think he's trying to force the issue. Yes, he does. But this will also mean that Barguer's gonna lose quite a lot of time. His exit isn't really at his best. He's gonna be on the outside line coming into turn 4, and that is actually not going to be very beneficial as he's gonna try to also leave space for Michael Turner, which he's able to do so. Let's see if Barguer can use Michael Turner as a pick for him to stay ahead, but of course he's still stuck behind Jeff Rohan. Oh, you can see here Michael Turner actually almost pulling one back against Daniel Barguer. As you can see here, a lot of side-by-side battles this time between Phu My and Antanarau, Golile and Perez. Everyone's just still stuck behind the lap car Dan Evans. No one is able to clear Dan Evans. He is literally forming a train of cars behind to provide even more crazy frantic action. And now Hinochi Taiyo side by side against Shadrin Reza. The battle for second place. Hinochi Taiyo is going to try to make it a Nissan 1-2. But Taiyo against Shadrin Reza rub wheels as Shadrin Reza isn't looking to trying his fancy on giving up the position. But Taiyo has the straight line advantage. Shadrin Reza has the slow cornering advantage. Will Shadrin Reza be able to hang on to second place? I don't think he's able to do so. Hinochi Taiyo has currently put the Nissan up into a Nissan 1-2. An amazing turnaround for Taiyo to bring the Nissans back up into speed. Nissan, who had been missing in action for the first half of the season, is now looking to have a comeback on the half on their own. And as you can see here, Taiyo, if he can try to challenge Daniel Barguer for what should be Nissan's first win in the Hololive GT3, it's going to be shaping up to be an amazing race. More side-by-side battles between Wimberley and Bertelsen after that spin and contact into the wall. He just tries to defend as much as he can with a lot of that rear left damage. Hinochi Taiyo trying to find a way past Barguer. Barguer still having a commanding run in this race. He's still unstoppable. 40 laps have been run here, and meanwhile there's still been a lot of battles, but this time Kento Kai manages to defend against Wimberley, but for how much longer? Ooh, it's gonna be pretty close here, and this time we have Anita Perez have crashed. I don't think he's made contact with Kizora Leo, but I think there's a lot of front end damage. Anita Perez's race, a promise, comes to an end with a massive amount of front end damage. I don't think Perez is able to continue at this point anymore. Another twist into the final stages of this race sees Anita Perez DNFing, not what the Miko P and Sakura Miko want to see, as they want to try to get themselves back up in front. Meanwhile, we're still looking into some more side-by-side battles. Antanarau trying to defend against Phu My, who have been bad fast all day. But will it happen for him? Hinochi Taiyo still stuck behind Jeff Rohan, who have already been cleared by Barguer. Barguer still only has 4.5 laps to try to survive and bring home the win for Suisei, and to try to bring home a win for all the Hoshiyamis to see. Looking into the final spots here, finally, for the guys who are at the back, they have already steered clear of Dan Evans. And that means there will be a lot of Nissans on the top 5 spots. Shadrin Reza is the only Honda in the top 7, where the rest of the field are basically being dominated by Hondas. You know, let's also give credit to Christoph Salomon, who have also had a very amazing race, second best Honda in the field. Kento Kai tries to bring home 11th place for the best, highest finishing Lexus driver. Race is just not over yet, and this time Daniel Barguer is now behind Ri Liu, and now Hinochi Taiyo is looking to steer clear of the lap car of Jeff Rohan. Shadrin Reza is still stuck behind Michael Turner. Farah Kamal still edging ahead of some few other drivers. She's still in the points. Not exactly the debut she's looking for, but she is trying her best. Sean Galile currently in 5th place. Let's see if he can steal best of the rest in 4th. The gap between between 3rd and 4th is just too insurmountable. But this time, looking at Hinochi Taiyo, he's getting very close there against Daniel Barguer. Will Barguer manage to defend at the line, or will there be heartbreak once again for the 2nd year in a row? We're going to come to 3 laps to go here in Buriram for what should be a wonderful race from start to finish. We can see here Barguer tried to go for a bold move down the inside, but will it work out? I don't think so, because Tayo is actually getting very close here. He's getting very closer. The gap's now closed down to 0.2 of a second. Will there be a double overtake for both Barguer and Tayo? And meanwhile, Reza is not counting out maybe a second place finish as if he can try to steer clear of his fellow Gen 4 teammate Jeff Rohan. You can see here Barguer peeling down the inside against Ri Liu. Will Tayo do the same? No, he doesn't. Barguer manages to again use Ri Liu as a pick for him to at least stay ahead. And this time, he's got a lot of clean air because the next driver in front is Takeda Adachi. It seems that nothing is stopping Daniel Barguer here at the moment. He's having a perfect weekend. Of course, we still have the stranded car of Anita Perez still at the entrance of turn 5, so everyone is still being reminded to at least dodge the car, as we're still not looking to put this race in caution. Gibbons jumps up into 18th place, but not for long. Maybe yes, it is the emphatic answer. As you can see here, Nakamura tries to defend against Gibbons, as Gibbons puts himself back up into 18th. So now it's a good time for us to show you all the progress charts, see who is the biggest gainer. Gibbons gained 15 positions from what should be 33rd. Meanwhile, Kento Kai gained 15 positions from 26th. Altus and Antanarau gained 10 places from 16th. Takaboshi gains 9 places from 14th. As you can see here, the side-by-side battles here between Miyuki and Goliath. You can see here Miyuki is actually a lap down. And now you can see here Goliath stealing 4th place on a whim. Using Miyuki as a pick here to try to get ahead. We're now into the penultimate lap of this race. Daniel Barguer still in control of the situation here, as he's still edging ahead of the rest of the field, as Tayo is still stuck behind lap cars in Sora, Shadow, and Reza. Goliath is using Miyuki as a pick as well to try to gain some advantage, to gain some lap time, to gain a gap. And right now Goliath is able to do so. What a crazy race this has been for a lot of these drivers here. And you can see here more jostling for position here. Salaman's hopes for at least a P7 finish is not dead yet. Everyone's tires are basically shot. Everyone's trying to scramble for grip. Everyone is just trying to hang around in the final stages of this race. But for Daniel Barguer, like we mentioned here, his race is almost perfect. He's qualified on pole. He's led a good amount of laps, and he's going to look to lead the penultimate lap of this race. Meanwhile, Poli and Goyana battling side by side as trying to clear the lap car of Lorenzo Ricci. Salaman and Fumi side by side. And this time Salaman, it's not lost on Salaman to steal P7, and it's not lost on Salaman to try to edge ahead of his fellow Gen 0 teammate. Final lap of the race has begun. Daniel Barguer has led the penultimate lap of this race, and will he lead the final lap? Let's just hope he's able to do so. More side-by-side battles between Poli and Ricci, as it's a case of who gets to play chicken. Oh, there was a bit of a contact with Salman and Fumi there. As you can see here, Fumi got extremely unsettled here, and now Fumi's going to be under pressure for Lorenzo Ricci. Lorenzo Ricci unlaps himself against Fumi, but this time Poli managed to exit ahead of Kento Kai. So much action on the final lap. It's just no stopping these drivers. Kento Kai against Daniel Goyena for the final spot in the top 10. Will it prove to be worthwhile for Daniel Barguer? Let's just talk about Daniel Barguer for a while. And what a perfect race he's had at the moment. He's led of the most laps out of anyone so far. He's aced the strategy. He's aced the pit stops. He's aced basically a lot of aspects in this race. If you want to give him a rating, let's give him around a 9 out of 10. Obviously, he still has something left to fix, as does the diamond in the rough herself, Oshimachi Suisei. And for all the Hoshiomis watching, the Hoshiomis don't need to cry no more, as the stellar ride is about to complete the most stellar race of the Suisei Nissan so far. as Daniel Barguer rounds out the final corner to take an emphatic win here at the Buriram 400 race here in Hololive GT3. Welcome back to the top step of the podium, Hoshimaki Suisei. Inoji Taiyo, amazing race on his Hololive GT3 debut to hang on to second place. A lot of things happening here, but meanwhile we can see here Ethan Bertelsen with an amazing dive bomb, and that has not gone to plan for Ethan Bertelsen. That was a very aggressive dive bomb for Bertelsen to at least hang on the final lap, and that has actually not paid dividends as Ethan Bertelsen spins on the final lap in what was an amazing crash to see that puts Bertelsen down, out of the race. Songo Lyle survives basically everything that's being thrown into him, despite having to make 2 stops, despite having to do having that pit stop error. He is looking to finish an amazing P4 after gaining back a lot of positions from the start of this race. Takaboshi is looking to gain a good amount of positions, starting from 14th now up to 15th. Fumi is about to overtake Salaman across the line. It's going to be an across the line battle. Salaman beats Fumi across the line. Frantic action. Takaboshi for Shinoi Flare finishes 5th. Antanarau finishes 6th for Okayu. Fumi drops down to 8th across the line against Salaman. Kentokai 9th. Folly 10th. Looks to me that Adachi will be the last driver to cross the line. You can see here who's been the biggest gainers, who's been the biggest losers here. You can pause it if you want to. So anyways, we have the lapless car finally completing the last lap of the race to finally conclude this extremely hectic race here in Buriram. We have confirmation Daniel Barguer wins for Hoshimaki Suisei and an incredibly emphatic win. Inoji Taiyo second for Shirankai Fubuki. Shaoreza finishes 3rd. Shongo Lyle 4th for Minato Aqua. We have Keiko Takaboshi, who surprises a lot of people, finishing 5th for Shiranoi Flare. 6th place goes to Alcyon Tannerau. Crystal Salaman, second best Honda in the field for ASCII. Fumi being beaten across the line by Salaman in 7th place. Kento Kai 9th for his first race for Aki Rosenthal. And Sean Paul rounds out the top 10 for Inagami Korone. And here's the rest of the grid as follows. As you can see here, we have seen some amazing racing here. Shaka Reza still hasn't beaten Raiji Kaczynski. That round two just hasn't come. Kaczynski just manages to build a gap come the end. Amazing racing here at Buriram, and as you can see here, Irene Nakamura in her Hololive GT3 debut finishes 18th, as does Adachi. Ethan Bertelsen with that last lap crash still means he finishes 20th, despite we are looking to finish at least in 11th or 12th. Meanwhile, we have the first drivers a lap down, Ri Liu. We still have Ethan Bertelsen, the first driver to go a lap down, I think. Yeah. And then we have Ri Liu in 22nd, Jeff Rohan in his Hololive GT3 debut finishes 23rd, to good representation for Toa. And then we have Michael Turner 24th, Maverick Duciem 25th, Ed Sky 26th, Farah Kamal's return to Hololive GT3 hasn't gone to plan just yet. Take some time. She'll go back to her own winning ways. And we have Miyuki in 28th with Fabio Mendes 27th, and then Dan Evans in his birthday finishes 29th, Lorenzo Ricci in 30th as well. Just want to remind you, Daniel Goyena, number 11 for Sada Pecora, car number 11, finishes in the 11th spot on his birthday. Good stuff for him as well. Anita Perez, one of the few drivers to DNF in this race, only 38 laps complete. And then we also have Kizuhara Leo also down as well. Rim Olgor, who also crashed, Aaron Mazzi, and Mohamed Cashew. So we're just gonna go a bit of an intermission here to see what has happened to these drivers. So a lot of things happen, and a lot of things have happened. Now, looking into the guys like Mohamed Cashew, if you want to know what happened to him. Ooh. So let's just go back to the start here, where there has been some piling up here, and that actually started with Riba. So we're just gonna go rewind here just a bit to see what has happened. You can see here Oh, Phu My just continues to come riding down on everyone. As you hear, Phu My turns Kaminari River and that bunches up the entire field. Everyone manages to continue, but Alonso Ricci manages to actually beat a lot of people down to the line. But that's not where we want to focus here, is we want to focus on Mohamed Cashew. Let's see what happens to him. Oh, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be a very ugly move into turn 5. Oh, he hit the curb. Hit the curb there a lot, and that actually puts his car airborne, and that actually unsettles the car a lot, gives him a lot of damage. But I don't think that's why he crashed. As you see here, Cashew against Takeda Adachi. Oh, gets turned, and that will be the first DNF of this race. That explains one, but that doesn't explain why Aramazzi also retired. If you want to know what happened, Aramazzi was battling against his fellow Gen 4 teammate, Jeff Rohan. They both don't give room against each other. Aramazzi lost the rear, tries to keep the car back in control, tries to get himself back up at the racetrack, but he realized he got too much damage, and he realizes he just couldn't continue anymore. Now for the case of another driver here, let's say Rem Olgor. Rem Olgor is also in a very weird case because right now he's looking to pit. Oh, I think there's a bit of an issue in this car, as you can see here. Oh! A very messy pit entry, and then he tries to get back. His car's way too damaged, and that is his race over. So with that out of the way, let's also take a look into what happened to Kizuhara Leo, because he has had his race being cut short for worse, unfortunately. So if you want to know what happened to Leo, he was stranded across the racetrack for much of the race before he eventually got himself back into the race. Want to know what happened? Here's Kizuhara Leo against Antanarau. We did mention that it was a move gone wrong. No, sorry, Shongalile. Contact between the two. Both Akushio cars made contact. Kizuhara Leo trying to get himself back. Just wasn't meant to be. So again, a lot of incidents left, right, and center, and we just wanted to check back onto the remaining drivers who have also haven't had the chance to finish. We also wanted to mention about Anita Perez. Let's also check what happened to the Miko Honda. Here's what happened to Anita Perez against Dan Evans. Tries to put him a lap down. Dan Evans doesn't give her room. Anita Perez, an even worse crash than actually it's actually an even worse crash than Zeke Wimberly. As you see, the damage is actually much heftier. So that explains why Anita Perez is out of the race. Also, we want to talk about Ethan Burleson's last lap antics. Here's what happened. Ethan Burleson against Zeke Wimberly, side by side on the final lap, does the same mistake as Cashew did. Hops on the curb way too much. Oh, that's a huge slam onto Zeke Wimberly, as he has no control over that car, and that puts his car out of the race. And of course, we still have Perez's car being stuck stationary like that. So with that out of the way, we're just gonna need to save this replay, and we want to be sharing you the postseason standings. We'll be sharing you the full standings on the Adak-RMS Twitter /X once we get that thing done. So yeah, while we wait for everything to happen, we just hope that everyone has had a very enjoyable race up to this point. Like seriously, we haven't been seeing this much chaos for a long time. Now let's just go back into the postseason standings. See who is the biggest. See who gets to be the biggest gainer here. As you can see here. Just want to load it just a bit. Just wanted to check if it's actually loading or not. But just we need to get this content manager thing loaded, but let's check. Just wanted to get this content manager window on. Okay, it's not working, but we have a bit of confirmation there that what we can say without any form of issue here is that we have confirmation here that Daniel Barguer have now now taken the early lead here in the postseason standings, but in terms of the overall standings, we're gonna have to do a bit of counting. So with that out of the way, we're just gonna end the stream right here. I'm Mama Cesariza in the commentary booth, and you've been watching the 2023 Buriram 400 in the Hololive GT3 Japan Series postseason.